Mars. It's always been there, hasn't it?
Yeah.
That red dot in the sky.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of a captivating thing.
Yeah.
For humanity, I guess.
For sure.
Sort of like fueling our dreams of other worlds.
Yeah.
You know, definitely.
Little green men.
Little green men.
Maybe.
Right.
But today we're diving deep into something a bit more concrete.
Okay.
SpaceX and their plan to get to Mars.
Their ambitious plan.
Yeah, their ambitious plan.
To make it a reality?
To turn it into a reality. And we're talking about more than just, setting foot on Mars.
Oh, yeah.
We're talking about
way more.
Building a self-sustaining city.
A whole city.
On Mars.
That's the idea.
And you,
the listener.
You are in the hot seat.
You're going to decide.
You're getting ready to decide if you want to back this plan.
As an investor.
As an investor.
Big money.
Huge decision.
So we need more than just the what of Mars.
Yeah.
We need the why.
The why.
The how. And maybe even the...
So should we
even do this?
Right, exactly.
There's a lot to unpack.
But,
Well, I can tell you one thing.
Okay.
Just to kind of get us started and get you thinking about this. Did you know that on Mars, you'd be able to hike the tallest mountain in the solar system?
No.
Olympus Mons.
Olympus Mons.
It's a shield volcano.
Wow.
Makes Everest look like a foothill.
Really?
Yeah.
That's pretty amazing.
It's pretty wild.
See, that's the kind of detail that sparks the imagination.
Exactly.
But let's ground ourselves for a second.
Okay.
Back here in the reality of this investment, SpaceX isn't aiming for just a few footprints.
No.
And a flag on Mars, right?
This isn't the moon landing.
They're talking about a permanent
self-sustaining city.
This is the big picture.
What is the driving force?
Like, what's the motivation?
Behind that kind of vision?
Yeah, what's the big idea?
What's the big idea?
I think it really boils down to survival.
Survival.
SpaceX sees humanity's future as being a multiplanetary species.
Multiplanetary?
Yeah.
Okay.
They argue that a self-sustaining city on Mars is basically like an insurance policy.
Interesting.
It's a safeguard against any number of existential threats.
Existential threats? Like what kind of things are we talking about here?
I mean, you name it, right?
Okay.
Asteroid impacts, global pandemics.
Okay.
Maybe even climate change.
Oh, wow.
Things that we might...
That's up our
own mistakes.
Yeah, exactly.
Here on Earth.
So for you as an investor, this isn't just about ROI,
It's not just about...
It's not just about the money.
Yeah. Dollars and cents.
It's bigger than that.
Okay.
You're backing a plan that could secure humanity's future.
Wow.
That's legacy.
That's a big one.
That's a big one.
Okay.
So
stakes
are high.
Are pretty high.
High stakes.
And central to this whole plan is Starship.
It's not just another rocket.
It's not.
This is meant to revolutionize space travel.
It's a game changer.
Fill me in.
Okay.
What makes Starship so special?
Starship is all about reusability.
Reusability.
That's the key.
Look.
Think of it like commercial airplanes.
Okay.
They fly multiple times.
Yeah.
Same idea here.
So it goes to Mars.
Launches to Mars.
Lands back to Earth.
There flies again.
Flies again.
And again, like an airplane.
So this reusability.
This is huge.
That must cut down on costs.
It slashes the cost per mission.
Okay.
Imagine Mars travel becoming as affordable as like an intercontinental flight.
Really?
That's the goal.
That's amazing.
And we can't forget about the two-part design.
Okay, two-part design.
Yeah, so you've got the super heavy booster.
Okay.
For that initial push off Earth.
To get off the ground.
Get out of Earth's gravity well.
Right.
And then you've got the Starship spacecraft itself. So good.
Sleek and aerodynamic.
Oh.
Perfect for the long journey.
Getting to Mars is one thing.
Yeah.
Landing safely.
That's the tricky part.
That's a whole other challenge.
Absolutely.
It's not easy.
No, it's not.
Everyone knows that.
It's one of the biggest challenges.
So how do they plan to do this?
Well, they've got a phased approach.
Okay, phased approach.
Which, as you're prepping your investor pitch,
yes,
you really want to understand this.
Okay.
This is crucial.
Right.
Starting around 2026.
2026?
Yeah.
Okay.
Series of unmanned missions.
Unmanned.
No people yet.
Okay. Robots.
So robots are going to go first.
Robots are going to lay the groundwork.
Okay.
Think of it like your due diligence phase.
Due diligence.
Yeah,
okay, I like that.
Right.
So,
these missions are all about testing.
Testing.
Yeah.
What kind of testing are we talking about?
Landing systems.
That's a big one.
Gotta make sure they work.
Right.
Delivering essential supplies.
Like what kind of supplies?
Food, water, equipment, all the essentials,
Makes sense.
scouting locations for the city.
So like figuring out where to build.
Yeah, finding the best spot.
Okay.
And get this, they're even going to start basic construction.
Before people get there.
Yeah, using robots.
Wow.
They're minimizing the risks
That's smart.
and maximizing efficiency.
So when the humans do show up,
Yeah,
it's not like they're just landing
Well,
on a completely alien world.
it's more like arriving at a base camp.
a base camp.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's already prepped
That's pretty
from
smart.
an investment standpoint.
Yeah.
And a safety perspective. It
Absolutely.
makes a lot of sense.
All right. All right.
Yeah.
So then
What about the humans?
boots on the red planet.
Boots on the ground.
When's that happening?
The target is around 2030.
2030.
But here's the catch.
Go.
Only after those unmanned missions
Right.
prove that everything works.
Okay, so it's data-driven.
Very data-driven.
Go, no go.
Exactly.
For the investment.
It makes sense, right? Yeah.
You don't want to jump in blindly.
Okay.
So let's say everything goes well.
Okay.
The robots do their job.
If robots do their job.
Data looks good.
Data looks good.
We get the green light,
Green light.
2030,
Sure.
first Martian pioneers.
Land on Mars.
What's the plan?
Yeah, what happens next?
What are they going to do?
What's the plan?
Are we talking instant city?
Like popping up overnight?
Yeah.
Or is it more of a gradual process?
It's definitely not instant city.
Okay.
Think of it more like establishing a base camp.
Another base camp.
Kind of,
Okay.
but this time with humans.
Okay.
It'll be like a high-tech research outpost.
High-tech research outpost.
Yeah.
And then,
And then from there,
okay.
they'll gradually expand the infrastructure.
What does that mean?
So we're talking life support systems, habitats.
Like places for people to live?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Power generation. Got to have power.
You got to keep the lights on.
So it's
Sustainable growth.
not
Not
just
urban
sprawl.
Yeah, okay.
Carefully planned expansion.
Okay.
Step by step.
All right. So fast forward a few decades.
Let's say.
And with any luck,
Fingers crossed.
we see this bustling Martian city
Yeah.
that's self-sustaining.
Let that word.
That's a loaded term.
It is.
So paint me a picture.
Okay.
What does that actually look like?
All right. So imagine this.
Okay.
A city that uses what's already there.
On Mars?
On Mars. What do they have on Mars?
Well, they've got water ice.
Water ice.
Yeah.
Okay.
Locked beneath the surface.
So they have to get it out.
They'll have to extract it.
Okay.
And they've got carbon dioxide.
Carbon dioxide in the atmosphere.
Exactly.
Okay.
Abundant resource.
And they can use that for,
Well, they can use it for a lot of things.
okay.
First of all, breathable air.
You need that.
Gotta breathe, right? They can also use it to produce rocket propellant.
So they can make their own fuel on Mars.
Exactly, which means they don't have to ship it all the way from Earth.
Saving a lot of money.
Huge cost savings.
Okay.
And that ties directly back
Back to the investment.
to your investment.
Okay.
As an investor.
Right.
That's got to be music to your ears.
Less dependence on Earth.
That's the goal.
That's pretty amazing.
It's pretty incredible.
It's like a closed loop system.
Yeah.
Minimizing waste.
As much as possible.
Maximizing resource use.
Living off the land.
Like a Martian homestead.
Exactly.
Pretty cool.
Pretty cool.
Okay, so we've got the vision.
The vision.
Got the plan.
The plan.
But there's a lot riding on Starship.
It's the key.
Yeah.
The linchpin of the whole operation.
So what else
What else is crucial?
to make this city a reality?
Rapid launch cadence.
Rapid launch cadence.
It's not enough to send one mission every few years
No.
to build a city.
Yeah.
You need a constant flow of people and supplies.
Like a highway.
Like a space highway.
Yeah.
Busy spaceport.
Lots of starships
Starships taking off, landing.
coming and going.
Like clockwork.
Okay, so,
Lots of launches.
and to make those journeys more efficient.
Because it's a long trip.
Long trip.
How are they going to do that?
Refueling in orbit.
Refueling in orbit.
Imagine a giant fuel depot.
Like a gas station.
Like a giant gas station in space.
In space.
Yeah. Starships top off their tanks before heading to Mars.
So they don't have
They
to.
don't have to carry all that fuel at launch.
Okay, that makes sense.
More efficient.
So it's starting to sound less like science fiction
Yeah.
and more like
More like
a very ambitious business plan.
it is.
But every savvy investor
It's every investor.
needs to look at the risks.
Absolutely got to assess the risks.
So what could derail
What could go wrong?
this whole endeavor?
Well, for starters,
Okay.
Starship development itself.
It's a massive undertaking.
It's a beast.
It is a beast.
Complicated.
And
Safety's paramount.
safety first.
Can't have any.
No cutting corners.
Right.
Human lives are at stake.
Okay, so that's one risk.
That's a big one.
What else?
Then there's the Martian landing.
The landing?
We talked about how challenging it is.
Yeah.
The thin atmosphere makes it really difficult.
And if something goes wrong,
any mishap
could set the whole project back.
Years. Yeah. And let's not forget about the human factor.
Okay, the human factor.
Keeping people alive.
Long term.
Yeah. It's not easy.
It's not a walk in the park.
What are some of the challenges there?
Well, radiation's a big one.
Radiation. Mars doesn't have
a magnetic field.
Same way that Earth does.
Right, so you're exposed to a lot more radiation.
Yeah. So you need
good shielding.
Okay.
Food production.
You can't just order
takeout.
Got to grow your own food.
Okay.
And then there's the mental health aspect.
Oh, yeah, being stuck.
Being so far from home.
Yeah,
with the same people.
In a confined environment.
For a long time.
It's a lot to handle psychologically.
It's a huge challenge.
And then, of course,
the elephant in the room.
Funding.
Can SpaceX actually pull this off?
Can they get the money?
Financially?
Billions and billions of dollars.
Oh, wow.
And then even if they have the money,
can they manage?
The logistics.
It's mind-boggling.
Building a city.
On another planet. So as a potential investor, these are all things you need to consider.
Weigh the risks. Against the rewards.
The potential rewards are huge.
Huge.
But the risks are real.
Yeah.
No doubt about it.
Okay, so we have this grand vision.
We do.
Of humanity expanding to Mars.
Multiplanetary species.
Building a new civilization.
A new chapter.
But there are immense challenges.
Immense. Technological, financial, and ethical. Ethical. That's a big one.
Okay, so what are the implications
of settling another planet?
Permanently. Yeah.
What does it mean for humanity?
What new challenges?
What new opportunities?
What kind
of society are we creating?
Are we just going to repeat
the mistakes of the past?
Yeah. Are we going to make the same mistakes?
On a new world?
On a new planet?
These are questions we need to grapple with.
Sooner rather than later.
Before it's too late.
Yes.
Before we blast off.
It's a lot to think about.
Food for thought.
Yeah.
Definitely.
If you were in the investor seat,
yeah,
what would your top priority be?
Good question.
For SpaceX to address? That's something to ponder. Yeah. As we wrap up.
As we conclude.
Our deep dive into SpaceX and Mars.
Thank you for joining us.
And until next time.
Keep looking up.
At the stars.
At that red dot.
Mars.
This has been a Project NJ Studios production.